Why is goal setting so important? Because it allows you to get into your flow state. It puts you in the zone if you do it correctly. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and we inspire. And we've been talking as we're getting closer and closer to the new year about the importance of goal setting. One of the things, the first question you should ask about anything that you do is always why. That's what we're going to answer for you today, because it's critical. If you're going to be a productive person, an achiever, you want to get into your flow state. And I want to let you know that I read an article called In the Flow, How to Enter Your Brain's Most Productive State. It's what sets the highest achievers apart from everyone else, by a gentleman named George Ziogas. And to be candid with you, the things that he says are things that I've already said in a different video. But when you're teaching somebody something, it's good to have two different paradigms, two different perspectives, because something clicks sometimes with one person, doesn't click with another person. So it's very critical that you're able to get into your flow state, that state where you're in the zone, where you're focused, and you're getting your best productive work done. Okay, so let's talk about that. The first step is choosing a challenging task. Remember, when flow state happens, only when you're applying yourself to a worthy, challenging task. You know, you're probably going to have a difficult time getting into it if you're working on mundane things such as filing paperwork or writing emails or stuff like that. You need to set a challenging, worthy goal for yourself. A goal that will stretch you and require you to use your skills to the maximum. That's why you set goals. So your goal with the flow state is to achieve something noble and worthy. Something that will make a dent in the world or a dent in your world. And in order to achieve this, you've got to be working on an important, significant task. Extraordinary results are directly determined by how narrow you can make your focus. If you want to enter the flow state, avoid trying to do everything. Rather, pick a worthy goal that will stretch you and force you to fully engage with the task. Choose a task that will require your full attention. Step 2, set clear goals on what you're trying to achieve. All right, you've already written out your goals, your objectives, but the key thing is you're in one position and you want to get to the finish line, and there's a lot of starting lines in between where you are and the ultimate finish line. So you've got to chunk things down. So when you're chunking things down for your particular task, you've got to be very specific about exactly what you're trying to accomplish during this particular time frame. You have to block out time for yourself and then choose what you're going to accomplish during that time. You see, setting boundaries forces you to concentrate very quickly so that you don't waste your time. Focus intensely on completing your goal. Give all your attention to completing your objective and avoid letting anything else distract you. Don't let anything keep you from achieving that goal. Do one thing and only one thing during your period of intense concentration. You don't have the option of messing around on your phone or checking your email in order to accomplish your goal. You've got to be ruthlessly focused upon it. And when you do that correctly, the result is the flow state. Step 3, cut out all the distractions. Absolutely essential. If you're going to enter the flow state, you got to cut out all the distractions. Ransom Patterson puts it this way: you'll never achieve flow if you're distracted. Your brain just can't handle it. Certainly, there are circumstances in which distractions are unavoidable, but most of the time, you can work to minimize or eliminate distractions. Unquote. Your goal is to clear away anything that might distract you from your task at hand. Remember, your goal is to give 100% of your attention to that single task, singleness of purpose. If anything cuts into that attention, you got to eliminate it. Step 4, eliminate multitasking. Flow state only happens when you're working on a single task. If you want to enter flow state, it's essential that you eliminate multitasking. It could be tempting to try and work on many different things at once, but it kills your workflow. You have to give all your focus, your drive, and energy to that one thing. You need to become so immersed in that thing that all other things fade away. That simply can't happen if you're trying to write a report, talk to coworkers on Skype, respond to emails, or you're texting, your spouse what you want to have for dinner. There's going to be a time to do all those things, but for now, you got to set them aside and work on the worthy goal that you've chosen. Avoid believing the lie that multitasking is more productive. You know why? Because it isn't. And really, why would you want to multitask when you're trying to get your most important work done? Here's a quote from a gentleman named Gary Keller. Quote, "Why would you ever tolerate multitasking when we're doing our most important work? Just because your day job doesn't involve bypass surgery, you shouldn't make your focus any less critical to your success or the success of other people. Your work deserves no less respect than if you were doing open heart surgery." Unquote. Do you respect the work you're doing? Do you want to do it with the excellence that inevitably comes from being in the flow state? Then stop multitasking. Each time you switch tasks, it requires energy from your brain, energy that you could have been devoting to accomplishing something truly magnificent. Step 5, strengthen your concentration. If you want to enter the flow state, you got to absolutely concentrate completely. If your concentration is wandering, you're going to find it difficult to give 100% of yourself to what's in front of you. So how do you ensure your concentration at peak capacity? One way is to get enough sleep. High performers know that sleep is absolutely essential to peak performance, and they ensure that they get enough sleep every night. They go to bed at a reasonable time and ensure that they maintain good sleep habits. You want to create a flow ritual. One thing that can be very helpful when seeking to enter your flow state is creating a ritual or series of actions that you perform every single time when you're seeking to enter your flow state. When you begin the series of action, it's a sign to your body that it's time to enter the zone, the flow state. The ritual is your trigger, an indicator to your body and brain that something important is about to happen. Just like when the bell rings in a boxing match, the boxers are there and it's ding, ding, boom, and they're ready to go. Okay? Their brain and their bodies are ready to roll. It's the ritual. The more you perform the ritual, the more your body interprets it as a sign to enter the flow state, and the easier it is to get into the flow state. For example, let me tell you a little bit about my ritual. Wake up in the morning, and first thing I do is give myself that quiet thinking time every day. That's 10 to 15 minutes. All right, that allows the thoughts from the infinite mind, the mind flashes, some people would call intuitive information to come down and sink in. It's another opportunity for that to happen because you're in a relaxed state, open to receiving. Give yourself that quiet thinking time. Visualize the things you want to get done. That takes about 10 or 15 minutes every day. It doesn't take a long time. Do it every single day. That's what I do every single day. Then I go to my computer and I have one of two tasks that I perform. One task that I perform would be to be reading articles or looking at videos or getting ideas from people out there, and I give it my full focus. That would be one day. The next day, what I've done is I've taken my notes and I prepared what I'm going to do with, as an example, today's video. I sat down, I prepared, I role played, I went over it, I gave it my complete focus, I made an outline, I have it on my computer so that I can use it, and that's how I get into the state of being ready to be on camera with you. All right, does that make sense? So one day I'm preparing for a video, the next day I'm actually doing the video, okay? And I do two at a time actually. So I'll prepare 2 videos one day, the next day I will record 2 videos. Okay, so are you ready to get into the flow state? You got to know the power. You know it can significantly increase the quality of your life. because it causes your productivity to skyrocket. It allows you to make progress on your most important tasks. It stretches you. That's the key. You've got to, when you're setting up what it is you're going to do that day, it's got to stretch you. It can't be something that's like ho-hum, real easy. It's got to stretch you to help you to reach your full potential. It increases your levels of focus and concentration and help you to achieve your biggest goals. Now the question now is whether you're willing to do the work necessary to get into a flow state on a regular basis. You have to be completely dedicated to that task that's in front of you. There's no room for distractions, no room for a wandering mind, no room for other thoughts or worries. You'll reach goals you never thought possible. You'll find yourself developing new skills and honing your existing ones. The enjoyment of your work will significantly increase, and you'll make progress on the things that are the most important to you. So don't wait for the flow to come to you. If you wait for it to come to you, it ain't going to happen. Flow comes from within. You must create it. It's up to you. Once again, I want to give a big shout out to George Ziogas for his tremendously good article, and once again remind you that we will never end a meeting on a philosophical note. So let's get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.